Yeah.
I remember one time I interrupted my folks doing it when we were on vacation. My dad answered the door, pulling his t-shirt like over his dick.
So you know your dad leaves his shirt
legs.
on. Fuck.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you came out that way.
He's like,
That's why you got,
what the fuck do you want?
you know, a weak frame and stuff. It's because your dad wore a t-shirt.
He alphaed me.
He fucked your mom.
In that very moment when I saw him in that t-shirt.
That's how you come out cucked. That's how you come out cucked bodied.
Well, yeah.
From your t-shirt and sock fucking.
Do you think I
like
have cuck body?
No, I'm just being.
I have cuck body.
Yeah.
Help.
I was just saying to somebody, I was like, cuck is such a great slur, and it's such a shame that the alt-right discovered that. It really is.
It is the
it's the new
best.
faggot now, so...
Well, it's not the new faggot.
No? What do you say it is?
Because cuck speaks... There is actually no woke critique of cuck as an insult, because it punches up, if you think about it. It attacks, like, heteronormative masculinity.
Right.
The victim...
I was even thinking about it in terms of directional punching. I was thinking of it in terms of... when you couldn't say faggot anymore, and they're like, what word can I say?
Well, it's a great parallel.
Cuck.
I mean, on a phonetic level.
Because faggot's to tell you you're not enough of a man or something, right?
Yeah.
And then now they have the perfect word to say it.
To say it, and you can't criticize it. And in a phonetic way, I mean, it opens and closes with those plosives. It's one syllable. It's like fag or cunt.
Oh,
or
I'm
fuck.
telling you, it's a new fag.
Yeah,
man.
it's a great
Or
fucking
even
insult.
that's the diminutive, but even the full version,
Cuckold.
it just sounds like a guy that's just been kicked in the dick, like holding himself. Yeah.
I wish I could. I
Being
wish
a
I
cuckold.
could meet like whoever coined the phrase "punching down" and punch down at them.
Yeah.
So much.
You think it was a real shrimp? You think it was a real shorty?
I think it was someone who's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I don't even know how anybody. Do you know what a dipshit nerd you have to be to
It was
imagine?
that midget that killed itself on the Wizard of Oz set.
To think that being mocked is the worst thing in the world that could ever happen to you under any circumstance, and that's where that punching up, because not every, even making fun of somebody is not always a vicious attack. Like, just to even think about it that way just shows what a fucking human zero you are inside. But and then the evil of like imagining that you're on top of a hierarchy.
Yeah.
I don't punch down.
Yeah.
Somebody said about a homeless, because they had like some guy's homeless joke. Like, that's punch. So you're better than the homeless guy, and you recognize that.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't deign to mock him.
Yeah.
That's amazing, your sensitivity.
Yeah.
That's just something. That's amazing.
Well, you run out of shit to make fun of, and then they don't know how to write jokes on top of that, so it becomes...
But can it be both? Can it be funny and punching down? You know what I mean?
It's not punching. You're telling
might be
jokes.
funny.
There's no punching here. That's just something they made up because they imagine it's like being beaten. If a joke, then they go a joke at someone's expense.
But don't you think
they overestimate?
Well,
the
they took it
expense.
further than that. My favorite was when you would see online people would be like, "Yeah, actually, this is literal violence," and it's like, no, it's literally not
words or
violence.
actions is how we got that insanity.
But don't you think
Trump
being mean is funny? Like, don't you think when Trump
I really don't like mean fucking.
You didn't
shit.
think when Trump was just like being mean, he was kind of funny when he was being mean to Ted Cruz? You didn't think that was funny?
Yes, I did. No, 100% I did.
Yeah, that was very funny.
Yeah, it's mean is funny, but it's funny when it's being absorbed by somebody that actually has a sense of empathy.
Yeah.
No, because there's
if somebody deserves it, I get it. Yeah, sure.
I'm saying mean is funny because in terms of funny, you have an action and then you have an audience, and then the funniness happens somewhere in between the two. So meanness happens when you have one person being mean to another person, and it becomes funny when somebody observes that, and the funny happens in the way that it's interpreted by the observer.
Right.
And I think meanness is funny when the observer has real empathy, and they're not a mean person themselves, but they understand the absurdity of a mean situation. And I've told that story about that working in that mall kiosk with that Iranian kid and that woman that had the grown retarded son, and then
you saw that story.
That's one of the hardest I've ever laughed in my entire life, and I wouldn't have if I didn't if I wasn't genuinely just heartbroken for this family. And then he's like, yo, that guy's a fucking loser.
Well, people don't understand what the fuck laughter's for. I don't know if you don't read Strangers a Strange Land in school anymore or something, but comedy's not a celebration of... comedy's not a celebration.
Yeah.
It's pain.
Yeah.
You're laughing because of pain. You're not laughing because you're happy about a thing. So, of course, there's going to be somebody... Of course, it's going to punch down. It's pain.
Yeah.
It's insane. They all think that... And that's, kind of the Daily Show... You write about when it was at the height of what it was. The Daily Show kind of fucked everything up a little bit because these millennials that loved it and just decided that's what it always is.
Yeah.
Which it can be what Jon Stewart did, but
Sure.
it doesn't have any political or moral component whatsoever.
If you're actually funny, like you can't write from a place of pain unless you actually developed your sense of humor out of like a defense mechanism. You know, if you're one of those kinds of comics, because there's guys that aren't. Rory Scovel, there's nothing sad about his comedy. He's like
right. It doesn't have to be, but even that, it's whatever. There's still an element of pain in it. Even like Brian Regan, who's all clean and nothing dark about Brian Regan. It's still like how stupid he was in school. It's like there's still a pain in it. There's never a thing where it's upworthy. Like, that's just not comedy because it's not funny. And just to even assign morals to it. Now, there's shit that I just don't like, that I'll be like, because I don't think I'm fucking mean. I don't think my act is mean at all. Yeah. And I don't think honesty is mean, like a lot of people seem to think. People think honesty is mean. It's not. Like that fucking passive aggressive, everything you see in the scene in Brooklyn and comedy, that shit is what's mean. Like the exclusion. Yeah. That's cruelty. Mockery can be inclusive. Yeah, it's how you do it.
That's actually I got kicked off. Well, not kicked off a show, but one of the people who ran the show like messaged me like, "Hey, look at what the other producers are saying about you." And it's like people I haven't even met, and they're like, "Fuck that guy." Some shitty bar show at fucking Over the 8. Doesn't matter.
Wait, I don't understand. Other producers.
There's like they call themselves producers now instead of people that fucking know a bartender at a bar. They call themselves producers of open mics.
Is that what that is?
It's an imported from LA. When I moved out to LA, it was all these people talking about like, oh yeah, I produce a show.
Well, it's because they're serious about their career.
Yeah. So she sends me this text and she's like, look what the other producers of the show. I've never met these people my entire life, and they're like, oh, he's a fucking big bully. That guy's a piece of shit or whatever. And it's because I made fun of Cockfield. And like they all fucking despise me for making fun of Cockfield.
Well, they all know you personally now.
Yeah, I guess. But
people that take themselves real seriously.
Right. Well, I've known Cockfield 10 years.
Here's who deserves mockery. It's got nothing to do with your fucking privilege. If you take yourself really, really seriously, you should be mocked.
Sure.
Whoever you are. Yeah. If you're like, I don't laugh at things directed at me, you absolutely should be mocked.
But some people should be exempted from that. I think within the comedy community, absolutely that applies. But if it's somebody that, you know, like I do have empathy when, you know, like saying like, oh, rape jokes should be off limits. I don't agree with that. But if I'm talking to somebody that is like a counselor at like a, you know, a rape survivors clinic, I'm not going to argue with them about it. I'll concede the point because that shit does affect them on a personal level, and they're not able to see the humor in something that they're not removed from.
Well, blankets, right. Yeah. Like a blanket statement's like of this or that's not funny is a stupid thing in general. And
yeah. Of course, I agree with that.
What the joke is, and but you're not going to a rape center and telling rape jokes. You're at a nightclub.
Exactly, and so, that's my point. But I'm just saying that anybody that takes themselves seriously deserves to be mocked. I think that holds true for comedians. Definitely anybody that's like, you know,
if you just were violently victimized by something, I don't expect you to